My name is Anthony James, and I love the German Netflix show Dark. I love it so much that I started a YouTube channel to talk about it. From the start, I've been told that the Dark train won't last forever, and if I want to continue to grow on YouTube, I need to move on. Well, you know what? I don't want to move on. This show is worth more. It's worth more theories, more analysis, deconstruction, and discussion. So if you're not ready to move on either, then you're in the right place. Right here on Dark Discussions. Hello, and welcome to Dark Discussions. I'm your host, Origin Anthony James, and here with me is HG Konrad. How are you, Konrad?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm coming to you live from the alt world, where everything's fine.
Yes, everything's doing great over here in the prime world. That's where I am. You're in the alt world. We've managed to sync ourselves up pretty well. I think, well, actually, Dark does have it all synced up, don't they? So we're doing well. We're doing well. So, guys, we're here to talk about today a number of things. We got a special surprise for you later on as well, which is something that we was asked for in the comments a few months ago. So we're going to be doing that towards the end. So if you're in already, give us a like. If you're watching this on a replay, give us a like. The likes do really help us. So the topic today, before we get into it, I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's all about the ending of the show. So the ending of the show, we're going to talk about, was it a Deus Ex Machina? Because I've been in conversations with some people on certain Discords recently saying, yes, it possibly is. No one in our Discord was telling me that, but, you know, actually one person who was involved in that conversation didn't say it was a Deus Ex Machina, but is a big member of our Discord, actually, so wasn't on our Discord, though. We're going to also be talking about a little bit about the tunnel scene. What does that quite mean? And if Vic Disco chugs a few cups of coffee and manages to get in, we are going to be talking about one of his favorites, a subject close to his heart. Let's just say that, Ted.
We should take the piss and just do it now while we know he's not here, so that we can say we discussed it. You missed it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, sorry, Ted. You'll have to watch it twice. You'll have to watch it when you get in and watch it later. But we'll talk about that subject that's very close to his heart. If you listen to the podcast here on Dark Discussions, you know what it is. And he's going to love it. Although, spoiler, it's not Westworld. Okay, because he also wanted that as well. Okay, so Shally may have the correct answer there in the live chat. All I'll say. So, guys, could you please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? Could you give the video a like if you haven't already? It does really help with getting the live stream out there.
Engagement.
It does really help. We are, I think, one of the only places on the internet doing weekly Dark content. I'm sure there are other places.
One-stop shop for it.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other places, but you know, we love the show. It's a very special place in my heart, and I don't want to let it go. Maybe we'll see if 1899 can take it over. I don't think it can, but we'll see. I am going to be doing an 1899 episode next week, going over all the new stuff we've learned since my last one I did. Also, just so you know, the t-shirt link in the description. There it is. There, Konrad and I going into the cave we all know, or as my son says, going into the choo-choo train tunnel. So that's us. If you want to link it in the description, if you want to join the Discord for loads of Dark discussions and discussions about the OA and all the other shows we cover, get us there. I also do want to shout out, if you do love Dark, you should watch the show on Netflix, Sisyphus. It's a Korean show about time travel, and it's absolutely bonkers. And we're up to episode 3 now. Emmett and I are going through it every Wednesday on the channel, and we're up to episode 3. We are going through it, and it's full of theories. So I would check it out. Watch out.
It sounds nuts, that show, frankly.
It's absolutely nuts. With it, like the second scene is the main character saving everyone on a plane from a plane crashing. Like, it's absolutely mental. But the time travel does seem very.
It's like Airplane.
It's just like Airplane, yeah. But the time travel does seem very thought out. And there's a lot of theories, and there's cool discussion going on in the Discord too. So join us there if you want to as well. I'm not spoiling anymore. It's the second. It's the Top New Pro. I'm not spoiling Sisyphus. That's the second scene in the whole thing. Okay. Right. Let's now move in to our first topic of discussion. A load of people coming into the chat. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll say hello to a few people here. Vic Disco, funny, someone said in the comments last week, Konrad, you'll love this. They said, from watching these live streams, like, I'm learning. If you're in the live chat, you're a celebrity on the channel, because they were like, I know Vic. They said I know Vic Disco and Master Onion North more than I know the other guy on the channel. What's his name? Connor.
Nice. Thanks. That's I'm happy to be like the genius behind it all.
Yeah,
the puppet master.
I will say that comment was, I can't remember who made that now, but that comment was someone who's been following us for a while. They do know who you are. They do know who you are, Konrad. Just for you. Okay,
Suck my dick. What I say.
All right. First piece of discussion here for us is Dark a Deus Ex Machina? There are some people who seem to believe that it is. Like, the ending came out of nowhere is probably a better way to put it. But Deus Ex Machina literally means from God. Like, it came out of nowhere from God, a machine from God. It fixed the problem. So what do you think, Konrad? First of all, if you want to give us a one-word answer, that's all right. But let's get into it.
I mean, let's say what we're all thinking. Those people are wrong. And here's a here's a longer explanation as to why they're wrong. Oh, I've just knocked my camera. I apologize. So a Deus Ex Machina, we were talking about this before we started streaming, is basically like shorthand for when the writers write themselves into a corner. They can't figure out how to get out of it. So they're like, oh, rocks fall and save everyone. And, sometimes it can be, it's this weird thing that's become like cultural shorthand for I didn't like something that happened a lot of the time. Because Deus Ex Machinas are used quite a lot in quite a lot of fairly well-regarded stories. Like some coincidental thing happening to aid a character. That's been happening since the dawn of narratives themselves. Like it's kind of, it's a little bit lazy at times, but as long as you don't overuse it, it's not a problem in and of itself. I think Dark, the example we were talking about before we started streaming that you came up with was like that, spoilers for Game of Thrones for anyone who hasn't watched it, but like you're probably better off not watching this season of Game of Thrones, when like all the lads go past the wall to go and get one of the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, and they're all about to die, and Daenerys decides, I'm going to go save them with my dragon, and she has to travel. I think it's been established that it's like 800 miles from King's Landing to like Winterfell, and they're in Dragonstone, which is further south, and the guys are north of the Wall, which is further north than Winterfell, and she flies there in like 10 minutes, and that's a Deus Ex Machina, where it doesn't make sense. You can't ask questions about it because it literally doesn't make sense. With Dark, it does make sense. They established the three world theory. It's like the second episode. They're talking about the Chakras and the three world theory. And they very clearly set it up when they start showing you footage. That's not the right word for it. They're showing you like H.G. Tannhaus stuff from the origin world where it's in a different aspect ratio. Like they're clearly saying this is another world. Like you can, I think sometimes I get a reputation I don't really deserve as like being really like attentive to detail. It's not that. I don't think it's that hard to spot that is clearly shot in a different aspect ratio for a reason.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would also say that the way I come at it is, if someone is able to predict something happening, that it automatically isn't a Deus Ex Machina. So we all know from watching Konrad's reaction to season 3, episode 7, he predicted basically the whole last episode, like basically the whole thing. I'm not sure if he quite went into the details of the candles, Ted, but he did predict the whole thing.
We'll get to the candles. Don't you worry about that.
We'll get to Ted. He's here now. We'll get to the candles. But he did. He predicted it all. So if he's able to predict it, then clearly they're putting some stuff in there to show you what's coming. Even if it's an episode before, it still isn't a Deus Ex Machina. It still isn't. So Top New Pro has put a comment in that he would like me to read out. So it says, honestly, some could see it like that, but taking into consideration about the hints dropped and how time travel works in Dark, I would personally say no. I think the ending is great because it's all up. Because it's all up. Or it all adds up, I suppose. And then he continues on to say, to keep going, I don't think Dark is a Deus Ex Machina because for the entirety of the series, it's based on the number 3. 33, 3 time periods,
Yeah.
3 different versions of a person. So obviously 3 worlds. There's an example of hints being dropped. I agree with what you're saying, 100%.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I don't think there's. I really don't think that it is a Deus Ex Machina. I think people who are saying that were caught off guard themselves with it because they didn't put the points. They didn't connect the dots. You know what I mean?
I think, yeah, I think there's an aspect of that. I also think I'm going to struggle to pronounce this now.
Pseudonymous being.
There you go.
PB. I call him PB.
Okay, pseudonymous being. Yeah, there you go. That's a better way of pronouncing it. Does make a good point that Dark does kind of do the "it was all a dream" ending to a certain extent, but I think the "it was all a dream" ending.
Oh, I completely disagree with that. But yeah,
Well,
I'll let you go. Then I'll.
So that ending is only problematic when it undoes or cheapens the tension of what has gone before it. Whereas in the case of Dark, it's not doing that. It's a happy ending because everything that has gone before is crucial to them waking up from the "it was all a dream" ending, if you want to call it that. Like people have lived their entire lives and chosen to in the case of Jonas and Marta, have chosen to sacrifice their lives in order to restore things to the way they should be, even if it means that they won't exist. I think that ending is like almost the opposite of what you consider the classic "it was all a dream" ending.
Yeah, and personally, like if we're really going to take it to the nth degree, right? And I'm a math teacher, so I always do. I personally don't believe it's the dream ending at all, because the way I view it is, if it was all a dream, and if their world literally never existed, like when it doesn't exist anymore, if it never existed, then the car crash would happen again. Okay? So if everything that happened in their worlds is felt in that origin world timeline we see at the end, because they didn't crash the car. So everything they did happened and it mattered. It just doesn't exist anymore. That's how I view it. It didn't. Yeah. If it never existed, then they would have crashed the car. So it didn't. It's not. It's not. It was all a dream for me, because there is aspects of it existing in the world as we see it at the end.
Yeah, and I think I didn't actually see who just asked it, but the idea of, does the fact that they stopped existing mean they never existed? That kind of like philosophical question. And I think to me, they've established a relationship with the audience and those characters. So to me, they did exist, which is why the old romantic in me is like, oh, Jonas at the end. Yeah, like even if it's not Jonas as we know him, but it's there's something that lingers on from those characters in the kind of broad, vague spiritualism that Dark likes to occasionally get into.
Okay, PB says totally agree. I think that PB sort of kind of probably thought the same as we did. It's just that the way that it was put across was just like, it's like that old sitcom. I can't remember what it was called, but like literally the whole sitcom ended with an old man waking up and going, "It was all a dream." It's like, what are you talking about? That show didn't even need that, It's like just a sitcom.
I'm trying to think what sitcom you're talking about.
Oh, I can't.
How I Met Your Mother.
No,
is that how those episodes ended?
It wasn't that one. But can you imagine if How You Met Your Mother ended like that, and they woke up at the end and he didn't actually tell the story to the kids? He's like, "Let me tell you again."
Yeah, it's the guy who's like Lothario, and he wakes up and realizes that it's just been him recounting these tales of failed romances in his own mind, and he's like this syphilitic old man who's like alone in his 80s, and his grandkids don't talk to him anymore.
So stupid.
That would have been a better ending.
To be honest with you, I didn't watch the ending. I honestly, I've seen maybe 5 episodes of that show. Really hated it, and I can't remember. Like I think I heard who the mother was, but I can't even remember. I think I hate like 90% of sitcoms. That's my stance. Let me ask you a question. This is why I hated the idea of it from the start, because in my mind it was like, if it's one of the main characters, like the female characters, then it's just like, why the fuck did it take this long to talk about it? If it wasn't one of the main female characters, I'm like, what was the point of telling 8 seasons? Either way, it's stupid. The concept. So anyway,
they wanted their Ross and Rachel moment.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, that kind of gives me a clue, but I still even don't know who it is.
Like, I don't remember who it was. Like, I barely watched any of it. I think I watched the last episode, and that was That was it. Like, I think I hadn't watched an episode for about 3 years before that.
All right, fair enough. It sort of occupies the same space as Big Bang Theory to me, but Bang Theory was clearly way worse. Okay. So we've done sort of the Deus Ex Machina talk. I think most people are in agreement with this. I don't think it is a Deus Ex Machina. I think definitely it could catch people unawares if they weren't paying as close attention as to other people, which, as we know, this show was designed by the writers to be able to be watched at various different levels. So if you're one of those people watching it as like sort of a surface level, really cool, time travel show, but I'm not really diving into the details, maybe it would catch you unawares. It doesn't mean that just because one person was caught that way, doesn't mean it's a Deus Ex Machina.
No.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about is, because we're talking about the ending, we may as well like sort of just get our ducks in a row here. Like we have talked about this a little bit on the actual After Dark podcast when we were going through it. But the thing is, I like coming back to it every now and then, because in my mind, this is an idea that does sort of grow and change as you move through your time having seen the show. And Konrad still hasn't actually done a rewatch of the show. He's been talking about potentially doing it soon, so he'll keep you abreast of that, I'm sure. But yeah, okay, so tunnel. The tunnel scene, Konrad. The tunnel scene. What do you think?
So I cast your minds back to the early days of the After Dark podcast, where I said that I think it's which way does Jonas go the first time he goes? No, it's not Jonas, it's Ulrich. Which way does Ulrich go the first time he goes in the tunnel? Is it left?
Oh, geez, you're really quizzing me now. I think
you're supposed to be the expert on this.
I know. I think it's left.
Let us know in the comments.
I do think it's left, but I'm sure some of the comments knows. Jeez, if you had told me I was gonna have to answer which way they went.
No, this is how this works. All right, we're on live. We've got hot mics and we got hard questions coming. I'm
pretty sure it's left. I'm pretty sure it's left.
Yeah, I think it is left. But so I said at the time that I thought the right passage, in retrospect, this was a ridiculous idea. Like, because obviously the other passage, well, the left passage clearly takes him to another time. Yeah. Why would the right passage take him to this? But I was firing on all cylinders at this point. This was early Konrad, where my theories were wild, and I theorized that the right passage, or whichever one it was going to lead him to sort of like an architect in the Matrix style room with a bunch of monitors showing like 1,000 different versions of Jonas. One of them, he's in a different city or whatever, and one of them he's a singer, like that in this kind of architect room. And then we get to the tunnel at the end, and I feel like that tunnel sequence is very clearly them wearing their sci-fi design hearts on their sleeves. So that is clearly a reference to the Matrix. I also think it's a reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey. I
haven't seen 2001: A Space Odyssey yet, and I'll tell you why. It's one of the films, and I think I talked about with someone in the comments at some point. It's one of the films that I'm saving to see in the cinema for the first time.
It is worth seeing in a cinema, because it's even now that movie is a spectacle. But yeah, so I feel like it's an opportunity for them. That like Dark has always trucked in like really kind of like low level, even though it's time travel, really like low level sci-fi. Like it's never really shown any crazy, like really really high concept sci-fi stuff. And then in that tunnel, it's just like like grid lines going past them and stuff. And it's properly an opportunity for them to just go really cheesy with it. And I love that tunnel sequence.
I know, I do too. So here's my question for you. This is like the crux of it, which we'll spend the next minute or so on, and then we'll move on, because we do have some really fun stuff coming in this episode, guys. The crux of it is, where are you now after reflecting on it for a few months in terms of the fact that they saw each other as children? Like, I think we sort of talked about in the After Dark podcast, and I think we both sort of concluded that sort of hinted at the idea of it all being predetermined, that they should have they were destined to be there in that tunnel. Where do you fall on it now?
Yeah, I think it's like telling us that it's predetermined, and I also think, again, the old romantic in me loves this idea of them. It's that Ariadne's thread thing, like, or I mean, it's not quite the same thing, because that's like leading you through something rather than binding you to something. But this idea that Jonas and Marta are joined by this kind of ethereal, like, bond that they can't separate. They connect, like, and time, space, like existential problems, like both of them blinking out of existence, for instance, aren't going to stop them from being together. And it's a hopeful note to me, the fact that they've always been in each other's lives, and very bittersweet, I think, at the same time. So I love that bit. I actually I was saying to Anthony beforehand, I rewatched the last episode just before this, just to remind myself of the bits in it, and that bit still made me tear up. It's just like, they've always been in each other's lives, and they always will.
Yeah. I think I still fall on the same side of the fence for that, to be honest with you, as well. I think
Excuse me.
That you can get into a nuanced discussion over whether it is a predetermined nature or whether it's just everything's happening at the same time. Past, present, and future happen simultaneously, so therefore this sort of interconnects through the times and through the worlds like this. Obviously, that's a very nuanced discussion, but you can have it. Guys, could you please, if you haven't already, pop a like on this video? It really, really does help. So we'd really appreciate that. I mean, if you don't like it, you can give us a dislike, I suppose. But
yeah, but don't do that, guys.
But if we find you, we will ban you. I'm just kidding. Because we accidentally found out one time that if you ban someone from the channel, it takes away their dislikes.
Nice.
I've actually, funny enough, if that guy does come in eventually back into the live chat, I actually unbanned everyone from the channel. I think there was like 3 people banned because I whenever someone puts like a rude comment on or whatever, YouTube flags it and then gives you the option to hide it from the channel. Now, I didn't actually realize that it actually hides everything that person says on the channel. I didn't realize that. So I really hope that one of those people wasn't actually a genuinely like nice commenter and then one time, lost the rag and I was like, hide comment.
They called me Connor one time and I was like, well, that's a ban.
That's yeah. They're gone. Don't worry. That's why I can't remember who they are. They're gone. Well, it says here, Vic Disco says, running to get a coffee, and then I'll run back and give you a like. Well, unfortunately for Ted, we are now moving on to the hotly anticipated section of the episode where we are going to, in the final scene, I don't know if people are aware of this who don't listen to every single live, but in the final scene of Dark, whenever they're around the table in the Origin world, all these different characters, there are lots of colored candles in the room. And they're actually set up in candelabras with 3 of each color. So obviously, straight away, we're thinking to ourselves, 3s, everything's repeating itself, okay?
I watched this today, and I don't remember this detail, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's the detail that Ted noticed. I didn't notice it either, to be honest with you, but I have looked into it. So there are 4 sets of candles, 4 sets of 3 candles.
Okay.
So Ted's back. Good, we can start. So basically, you have the table with the people sitting around it. In the middle of the table, there is 3 burgundy or maroon candles. Okay. Those candles have personally, for me, been the hardest to nail down. We're going to leave them to the end. But the fact of the matter is they are in the middle of them all, in the middle of all the people. So those 3 candles, they might be worth talking about. On the side of Katerina, Peter, and Benny, on that side, we have a set of 3 white candles and a set of 3 blue candles. So on their side, there's 3 white, 3 blue. Check it out, guys. Okay. I'm not lying to you. Those candles. I'm going to, first of all, we're going to do a little quiz here. We're going to ask Konrad what he thinks the candles mean, okay? So I've got it written down on a piece of paper. And first of all, we'll start with the white candles. So the 3 white candles on the side of Katerina, Benny, and Peter. What do you think white candles symbolize?
Well, it's got to be. This is going to be such bullshit, but so it's got to be, some kind of religious connotation. So I'm going to say you've got your priest, you've got your St. Christopher pendant lady. St. Christopher? Yeah, that's the name of the patron saint of travelers, right? I misremembered that. And then I don't know what you'd have for Benny. Patron saint of prostitutes? I don't know either.
No, I think you're thinking. Okay, Konrad, I'm going to stop you right there before you dig the hole too deep there, right? But basically, what I mean is, I don't know. Okay, so I didn't realize how unaware of candles you were, right? So basically,
listen, I don't know anything about them. I have. Hold on. I have a one of those wooden wick candles across the room from
What
me.
color is
at the
it?
moment.
That's the important thing. What color?
It's like a cream. Well, the wick is brown because it's made of wood, but it's like a cream colored. It smells of vanilla. It's delicious.
Probably counts as white, I would say. So you've got a white candle in your house, and you don't even know what energies you're putting out there, Konrad.
No, what am I bringing into my home is the question. The same energy that Peter Doppler's bringing into his, which is a worrying thought.
So white candles promote. Now this is the thing. You were so not au fait with candles that you would try to say like priests. No. It's about feelings, and it's about like.
All right, okay. Well, now I'm in the wheelhouse. Okay, let me have another guess.
Okay,
because I didn't know we were talking about feelings. I'm gonna say white is apathy.
Jeez, you can tell who wasn't raised a Catholic out of the two of us. Basically, white is about. So if you white, like you know how white's generally is like about like virginity and stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna go purity, but then I thought, come on, that's too.
Okay, so
it's
it's not quite as far as that, but it is.
Okay.
It's promotes serenity and peace and enhances personal strength and insight.
Okay.
So first of all, for me, I know like Ted wants us to analyze these a bit. So for me, straight away, I'm thinking, right, obviously that one is some lovely feelings, serenity and peace. Clearly, these characters are feeling this way now that the universe has been set in order, and it's all that horrible knot of craziness is gone. They're peaceful. What do you think, Konrad?
Yeah, I think that's true of every character around the table. I guess the argument could be made that Peter and Benny are most at peace with themselves now in the real world. You know, they're no longer kind of lying about who they are or what they find attractive. So yeah, that would totally make sense to me.
Yeah, Handsome Henry has come in and said, "Oh my god." I think they're saying that because we've actually managed to get some sort of serious analysis out of the colors of these candles. But yes,
listen, this is what you come here for.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure that's where we're looking at here, especially considering they're closest to Katerina, and we know the craziness and the horrible sort of non-serene life she had in the other worlds.
Yeah.
So there we go. Okay, on the same side, this one's sort of a little higher up. It's more sort of maybe a little bit further towards Benny and Peter. Now, this has a word in it that I don't know what it means, but I think I kind of do, but I wouldn't be able to pin down an actual thing, right?
Okay.
Thank you, Sea Bad Moon. He's blessing us with serenity in the comments there.
Oh, thank you.
And also, Beth did as well. Thank you very much. Lovely.
Yeah,
some nice little white candles.
I'm feeling serene.
Yeah. Okay. So blue connect. Oh, you have to have a guess. What do you think blue means?
Well, I know it begins with something because you just said at the beginning of the one. Blue. I would have said blue was like a calmness as well because it's like the sky. But I'm gonna say blue is like deep thoughts and introspection, like the sea.
Okay, you're not that far off actually. But we'll let the viewers decide.
Charitable.
Yeah. Okay. So blue connects with your chakras. Okay. That was the word I can't really pin down. I kind of know what it means, but I can't really pin down a thing. Right.
Chakras is like a Buddhist. I think it's Buddhist or it might be Hindu term, but for like the energy points or something. It's in yoga.
Is it kind of like feng shui? Like feng shui is like a room, but it's like sort of it's like feng shui of the soul. Is that what a chakra is?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to offend someone by pretending I know anything about chakras.
Okay, so connects with your chakras and any emotional wounds that need healing.
All right, well, that's everyone in the room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, really, there's if Dark is about anything, it's about sustaining grievous emotional wounds from those we love. So yeah, I guess. Katerina. Who else? Yeah, Katerina and Vola. Oh, actually, and Hannah as well are the ones who sustain actual physical wounds. So, so they probably need like the red candle or whatever the physical healing one is more than the blue one.
The blue was emotional wounds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the red one's coming, so we're gonna go to the red one now. So,
okay,
on the side of Hannah and Torben and Regina, there is red candles. Now, actually, hang on a minute. I'm now questioning myself. Katarina is on the left of the table if we're looking at them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Regina's on the right. Yeah. So we've got red candles over on the right hand side next to Hannah, Torben. I don't even have to say Regina because we know it's all about Hannah and Torben. These ones because we want to guess what this one's for.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the obvious answer. I'm gonna say it's something to do with sexuality. Surely, virility.
Encourages love, sex, and passion.
There you go.
And the website that I've got this off says obs. As if it's so obvious that that's the case. So we should have known. Like if we had,
I don't think red is the sexiest color. I think purple's a sexier color than red. If I were pushed.
So do you want to guess what there is no purple candles, but do you want to guess what purple candles stand for?
Well, okay. I'm gonna say like a kind of regal nobility because that's like associated with like the Eastern Roman Empire and being born in the purple. But that's based on nothing other than that.
Oh, okay. So it boosts your spiritual enlightenment and creativity.
Okay, sure.
That kind of seems like one like that. Actually, kind of seems like one like okay, we got the main ones done. We got white, we got red, we got blue. What about purple? I don't know. Boost your spiritual alignment? Yeah, okay. Put that one in. That's how I kind of feel that. Although purple is an important color in Catholicism anyway. I know that. So maybe okay, we'll go with it. Okay, so that was the red ones. Clearly to do with Torben and Hannah, trying to give us that clue. If we were all watching this show like Ted watches the show, then we would have known.
Like, she's pregnant straight away.
Yeah, we would have seen the candles. We were like pregnant. Her favorite boy's name. She's always loved the name.
Jonas is coming back.
Always known the name Jonas. She's always loved it. We should have known that straight away. Now let's get to the crux of the matter here, because I see here Master on Your North came in and said, that's discussing the dinner table scenario. Okay, so for anyone who's joined us late here, we're talking about the colors of the candles around the table in the final scene of the show. Okay, that's what we're doing. Why we're doing that? Because it's actually really good fun, and Ted was right. Ted was right to think that there is actually some like everything we've seen so far. I could believe that the creators or the set designer or whatever put them in for this reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, stuff doesn't make it into a shot without someone deliberately putting it there. So
especially like these, they're in threes in these candelabras. So there was some thought put into how these are set up. So yeah. Okay, so the last one is either burgundy or maroon. And you will not be. Actually, no. Hang on. They're actually. I was going to say you wouldn't be surprised to know that they both have different meanings. But actually, I think they're pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Okay, so what do you think maroon stands for? Burgundy. And these ones, remember, are in the middle of the table, with them all surrounding
them. Just depression, like a general malaise. I went for apathy on white. I'm going there again. Some of them have got to be negative, right? Everyone sells candles based on positive emotions. I want to sell candles based on negative emotions.
But why would you? Yeah, why would you burn a candle? You want basically a voodoo doll version of a candle. You want to light a candle to punish someone else.
I want to sneak a candle. I want to give a candle as a gift, and it to give someone a deep sense of sexual inadequacy. That's my dream business.
So I to be honest with you guys, according to Google Images, I didn't even go to a website. According to Google Images, confidence, ambition, acceptance, sophistication.
I was actually going to say acceptance because putting them in the middle. So okay, there's two things to discuss here. Like the theme of that, obviously, like the acceptance, that makes sense. Having that in the center, you know, all these characters who have been, in some cases, in like open conflicts with each other across the two worlds that we've seen them in, have, you know, are at peace with one another. And I think it's been mentioned a few times in the question. I'm not sure if you were getting to this, but the idea of these being in threes, I think it means that across the worlds as well. You know, like the origin world and the alt world don't exist anymore, but this is kind of confirming that, to be like, you know, everything is in harmony and equilibrium has been restored.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so hopefully Ted liked that candle discussion. Candle corner here on the Culture Cave.
Candle corner.
If you notice any other candles in dark, let us know. We'll go and find the scene, and we'll tell you what we think of the color of it. Out of curiosity, just Konrad, what do you think a black candle stands for? That's the one you would think would be negative, isn't it?
Yeah, that's witches. That's a witchcraft candle.
It's for psychic protection, so it actually kind of...
Protection from witches.
Yeah, psychic protection. What about pink? Pink candle.
Like playfulness is probably what I'd associate with pink.
Okay, it's for romance. Placing a pink candle by
They can't have pink as well. You got to pick your candle colors, guys. Like red is for romance, right? Or love, I guess.
No, Konrad. This is the thing, because red is for
they clash as well.
Love, sex, and passion, whereas pink's for romance. Like, so, I love my mother.
So you burn the pink candles first while you're having dinner, and then when things heat up a bit, you run to the bedroom and light a bunch of red candles.
Well, actually, where's the thing? Actually, this is a question. I love my mom. Which candle do I light? Because if I light the red one, jeez, I'm not lighting that one. I'm not lighting that one.
Yeah, that's.
But if I light the pink one, then that's that's romantic. No. Where's the one just for like family?
Yeah, just like I like my mum.
Yeah, I like my mom, and I want a candle for it. You know?
Yeah, platonic relationship with family. That's
I think I'm just gonna get a candle with my mum's face on it, and I'll light it. But what
I
color
thought it was
will
safe
it be?
with a white candle, but apparently I'm making a statement with that as well. So
yeah,
I don't know what
exactly.
to do.
You got the wooden wick in there, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Last one we'll do before we move on to the real fun.
Okay.
Brown candle.
Like I'm gonna say like an alignment with nature, some kind of earthy quality.
Kind of, I suppose. Not really an earthy quality, but kind of in the same ballpark.
Okay.
There's a bracket after this, which I do need to read for you to understand it, but I want to hear what you think about before I read the bracket. Helps with all things relating to your resources.
Resources? What does that? Does it increase the number in my bank account? Is that what that candle
Then
does?
in brackets it says, like, look, this is a crazy list, right? Your resources, right? So this is the list of resources.
Okay, tell me what my resources are.
Your health.
Okay, I didn't realize that was a resource. That's worrying, because that sounds like a resource is something you can spend, and I don't like the idea of spending my health.
Yeah. Energy.
Yeah, okay, I'll have that.
Possessions.
Okay, I don't know how a candle helps with that. If anything, my resources are going down as I burn the candle because I have less candle.
Yeah. This is the next one I love. So this is, remember, resources, you said kind of resources are kind of things you can trade for other things, right?
Yeah.
Pets.
Where's my cat?
Yeah.
Are you a resource that I can spend?
Yeah, that's your resource. You could trade that cat for, for a dog, even better.
Yeah, I'll trade up.
Yeah, it's like you start off with a paperclip and eventually you get to St. Bernard. So endurance is another one, and courage. So you can spend courage. Actually kind of makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm still not happy about health. That upsets me.
Spend your health.
Because I feel like I've been spending health quite at a rate for the last 12 months.
Right, okay, we've had some fun with candles. The next thing we're going to do, guys, and I think you're all going to be happy, we're going to do this for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. Konrad has finally done what I did a long time ago, and has had a little look through some of the new 1-star reviews on IMDb for Dark. And he has found some of them very funny, and he would like to share with some of them with us. So I'm looking forward to this, guys.
Yeah, so I actually did this like Unbidden of James. I just started looking at them and then was like, oh, some of these are awful. So here we go. I'm just going to read a snippet from each one. I'm not going to do the full one. This is not going to be like an audiobook of bad reviews. I'm going to take...
Oh, I've done that already. There's a previous episode where I did an audiobook of bad reviews.
Oh, okay, nice. Right, okay. So we're going to start this off, actually. So I didn't initially order these by date either. So the first few of these I found are from like last year, but I don't care because they're really funny. Okay. So, excellent series for incest lovers, especially for boomers. That's your boss here in June 2020. Thoughts? I'm not a boomer.
June 2020, that's when the season 3 came out.
Yeah, so I think a lot of these ones that I first read, and these are voted as the most helpful 1-star reviews as well, so I don't know what's going on. But this person decided, like, apparently they really liked season 1 and 2, but then season 3 was some boomer-ass shit.
That is...
Okay.
Hang on. You searched by the most helpful 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
Is that not an oxymoron?
Listen, sometimes you need to dig around in the dirt to find the truffles.
That was a truffle. That was a truffle, that one.
It's a production made with oh wait, hold on, I'm gonna read this again because I need to get the incorrect grammar right. It's a production of no apostrophe in it. A production made with of millions of euros and dozens of brain cells. Take that.
See, what they've done there is they've used numbers twice, which actually is quite a good bit of synergy within the comment.
Yeah, they've absolutely constructed a hilarious joke there. That was Yo Will was up 5. Who said that? So
you thought Baron Boda was a strange name. You know, this guy's just knocked him out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like a bit kind of like personally targeted by some of these next ones, to be honest. This show does not have any redeeming chapters. No full stop. It follows a meh storyline, and most people would probably only watch it to sound smarter than they actually are. I feel like I've been called out there by Filthy Frank.
Stealing his name as well from Filthy Frank. What's going on here?
Yeah, unbelievable.
I've never understood that. Like I know Peter Griffin's a big fan of the channel, so I can't speak too harshly. But I've never kind of understood just like going covert on the internet as like a character of someone else, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. I used to when I was 14, I used to go on a Xena Warrior Princess chat room because it was the only one that the filter at school allowed us to get to, and there was someone on there who claimed to be both Mary Kate and Mary Kate. What was the other Olsen twin called?
Ashley.
Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen claimed to be both of them. I believe it. I was only about 12 at the time. So
the irony is that was probably the other one who's in the Marvel.
Yeah, maybe it was Elizabeth Olsen.
It was that was her trying to get some of the fame of her sisters back then.
Yeah, I should have stuck around.
She got the last laugh.
This is an so this review I don't really understand because this person claims to really like the first 2 seasons and then suddenly just turned around on it. So
they liked the first 2 seasons, but then it went to a 1-star.
Well, I mean, Truth Seeker for Life 28 says Truth Seeker for Life 28. Sorry, excuse me. The first 2 seasons were great, but this is just pretentious writing, and apparently they think they are so great and brilliant, but are clearly trying that bit's capitalized, too hard to maintain that image. However, they are failing completely with the high IQ crowd.
They are part of the high IQ crowd. They're a truth seeker for life. They are high IQ. I can imagine.
Yeah, they're high IQ.
Like, see someone with a name like Truth Seeker for Life. 100% they're flat Earth. 100%.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that person is on some questionable Facebook groups. Yeah, they are an anti-vaxxer in my mind. Okay, this one. I like this one because of the film nerd in me appreciates them trying to. This next one lists kinds of films they watch to give themselves like credibility. So over the years, I've enjoyed films and TV that is challenging, bizarre, or obscure. David Lynch, Peter Greenaway, Fellini. But come on, this is mad. You've seen Mulholland Drive, or like Eraserhead.
Yeah, they have to list like it. That's such a short review, and like literally 95% of that review was them listing other films.
Yeah, them saying, look, here are my credentials. I've watched Fellini, all right. I watch hard stuff. This is crazy, guys. I feel like I watch a different. Like, it is complicated. Don't get me wrong. It's like, and I love how complex it is, but it's not that complex. Like, all you need to do is just pay attention, and you can understand it. This is a great one from I Hate Stupid Reviews 30, which is ironic.
Oh, jeez, that's great.
Can someone tell me why this show is so overrated and people are so raving about it? Are they really serious, or do they think that they are only capable enough to read between the lines, connect the characters, and predict the story? I don't understand what that means.
It doesn't mean anything. I love those type of reviews that you can clearly feel the rage within them that something is popular. You know, just like
how does someone like this?
Something is popular, so therefore they go into it thinking, well, I'm going to tell everyone how crap this is. Like, like there's certain ones as well. Like, also, like if like someone in your life like kept going, like for example, myself, right? I never did an IMDb review on it, but people kept going on. What's the name of that comedy with Donald Glover in it?
Oh, Community.
Community. people kept going on about that and kept going on about that, and I just was like, well, I'm not watching that because I just know I'm gonna hate it because like now
you're like me with popular things where I'm just like, I'll get to this in 5 years once the hype is
see, the
down.
thing is, I'm not like that all the time, but there was particular people in my life who kept going on about this show, and I was just like, right, I'll give it a go in 10 years whenever that's away from me. Now it's actually away from me. I probably could watch it, and I'll tell you, I'll give it a go, and I'll tell you what I think of it. But I completely understand the feeling of some of these reviews where people are saying, "Oh my god, it's so great, it's so great, it's so great," and you're just like, "Get away from me," you know? It's like it's like the people who just like have pride that they've never seen something. It's like, I've never even seen Game of Thrones. You know, I've never even seen it. It's like, well, what?
This next one I love because it's criticizing it for like as if like the plot is a flaw, or like the mechanics of the plot are a flaw. So I wish I could have avoided this. They begin cliches. I don't know what cliches they're talking about, and goes on and on in an infinite loop. It's like, yeah, that's the point. What I am starkly concerned is, did the authors think we are dumb lemmings?
Lemmings? What the hell?
I mean, look, all right, let's be fair to A_AA. Ulrich does do the same thing in both worlds. Like, so they are following each other in a certain extent, or to a certain extent.
But like, so they here, kind of is like a lemming. Ragad actually said in the comments here, I bet these people watch Dark while on their phones. They
probably do.
Now, they probably do, but when I first read that, Ragad, what I actually thought you just said was, I bet you these people watch Dark on their phones. Like, that actually got to me as well. Like, you know, you can imagine people who, like, watch it while on the bus every day and then just be like, well, that was crap, you know? Like, not even paying attention to it.
I kind of... I try not to be too judgmental about how people watch stuff, but I do end up being like, watch it on television, pay attention to it. Like, it's an hour long.
Oh, no, there's nothing against watching something on your phone if you're actually paying attention to it. But when I picture someone watching something on their phone, I'm imagining them, like, in commute or something, you know, like...
Oh, yeah.
In a way that they can't fully take it in, you know?
Yeah. This is a good one. This is from April 11th. So this person submitted this review
2 days.
2 days ago. Crying is the title of the review. They begin... Too much crying. Some of the characters are like teenagers crying for silly little things. Don't waste your time unless crying turns you on. Which I didn't realize we were allowed to judge things based on how much crying there was in it. I didn't realize that was
if that was the case, Orange is the New Black would have been over in the first episode. Because see, in that first episode, Jason Biggs and the woman who's the main woman in it, they both cry down. They both cry down the phone to each other. Not a tear in sight, and they're terrible. It's just horrible. I see here, Master on Unknown says John Campier started watching Dark because so many of his viewers were gushing about it, and he tapped out after the first episode. It was obviously he wanted to dislike it. I'm really surprised to hear that. John Campier is someone who I actually have a lot of respect for. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I was sort of looking at him and seeing what he did and stuff. I'm really sad to hear that, to be honest with you. I hope it's just that he didn't like it, because I don't have anything against anyone who didn't like it, but if it's like a vendetta against annoying people telling him to watch it, don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult, though. Like, I kind of get it on one hand. Like, if you've got loads of people telling you how amazing something is, it's very easy to go in being like, I'll show these guys who's boss, and like go in kind of predisposed to dislike something. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it reflects quite poorly on anyone to do that when they're a grown up, I think, because like at worst or at best, all you're doing is cheating yourself of the experience of watching a really good television show.
I also think what reflects poorly is, like, again, I really like John Campier and a lot of respect for him, and I'm not.
I actually know who John Campier is, to be clear.
Okay,
but...
like I'm not like I'm literally. Oh, okay, maybe I should just stop talking. I always said to myself, "What
no,
is this technically? Is this YouTube beef? Is this YouTube beef here, Konrad?
Beef.
You know, is this beef?"
It, yeah.
But yeah, I think if I didn't like the show, I probably would have watched the first episode, stopped, and then just not mentioned it. You know what I mean? But anyway.
Yeah, it's I kind of get it, but at the same time, like I don't think I've ever. Actually, no, that's not true. Like, we've just recorded our best movie podcast ever, and I very viscerally went off on one of the films on that. But I try to be open-minded to things, at least.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, there's a good review here from S. Oh my god, I'm not going to try and pronounce that username. Too boring and nonsense. It fails to convince you into the idea you watch, and nothing makes sense until the last episode of the last season. Yeah, that's a TV show. That's what TV shows do.
That's a mystery. The thing is, I actually watched Knives Out, and it didn't make sense until the last 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't know who done it until they told me who'd done it in this Who Done It movie. It's ridiculous. They should tell you in the first 10 minutes what's going to happen in the movie, and then I'll decide if I want to stick around for the next 80 minutes for the characters to reach that conclusion.
Absolutely. Right, Konrad, give us one more. We'll take one more.
Okay. All right, hold on. I need to let's get a good one. Okay, this. All right.
One star IMDb reviews for anyone who is joining us late.
Yeah, this one is from Casio. He describes Dark. Oh, sorry,
a calculator. A calculator. Jeez,
Yeah.
You would think a calculator would understand this show, like.
Yeah, I mean they are advanced now, but
they're hardwired for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor soap opera. I don't understand his first bit. And there's the most clueless police I've ever seen in a series. So many big problems. They got slapped and spit in the face and nothing. Which, to be fair to Casio, I agree with. I said at the time, Egon, are you just going to stand there and let Yana slap you around? You should arrest her. And Casio, I'm with you.
Yeah.
He gave it a 1-star review, though. So I don't really understand what their point was.
I think Cassio's like, dad's a cop or something. He's like,
yeah.
I don't want you to hit my dad, you know. Dad told me to stand up to the bullies, you know.
Yeah. Dad told me we should be arresting women for things like this, and she was smoking indoors as well.
Yeah, exactly. Right, well there we go. We've done a lot in this episode, Konrad. I think I might actually even have to change the thumbnail and stuff after it goes up as a video, because we've talked about so many different things that asking if it's the Deus Ex Machina doesn't really do the video justice anymore.
Yeah, we got through that in the first 5 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what we'll do is we will say, can you please join the Discord? If you haven't already, there is a link in the description. Can you please, if you want to support the channel, go and have a look at the t-shirt. I will say, actually, weirdly, there are 2 other stores on Redbubble which for some reason have stolen our design. I did submit a copyright claim thing on Redbubble, but I personally don't actually know how that works. I hope that's been taken down. So use our link. I think it must be like an automatic thing where there's like anyone who sells anything, they take their design. It's weird. It's our first.
I hope so.
Yeah,
if not, we'll go break their legs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll do what Cassio's dad wants us to do, and we'll go on. We'll go on and give him some stern words, right?
Yeah.
Some civilian arrests or whatever you call them. What do you call them again? I don't know. Anyway.
Citizen arrests.
Citizen arrests, that's it, yeah. Not civilian arrests. Same thing, basically. Okay, so, thanks very much, guys. Give us a like. If you're in here watching now, you haven't given us a like already, give us one. If you're watching it on the repeat, it really does help us. Yeah, so if you want to send us an email, adpodmail@gmail.com is the place to do it. If you want to suggest future discussions, pop them in the description below. As I said, next week I'll be doing 1899 news, what we know since the last time I did one.
And I won't be watching that because I am still going in blind.
Yeah, so I would have loved to do that with Konrad as well, but obviously Konrad is going to go in blind because on the After Dark podcast we will be covering 1899 as well as all my, reviews and all my sort of breakdowns. I don't really do the explained videos anymore. I did one for Dark, but I probably will do one for 1899 as well. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching along with us, and we will catch you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.